where were we with our prepping and our skill when we started the podcast 5 years ago?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Let's start from the beginning. Like, where were we when we started?
Yeah.
How about you, Cam? Where were you?
So I grew up. We've talked about this before. It's not like I didn't grow up in a family that wasn't trying to be prepared for anything.
Yeah.
My mom bottled and had food storage in down in the basement.
All the milk you could drink.
Yeah.
Really.
Right. And so they've always bought in bulk and had some prepared so they don't have to go to town. And I think it helped too that we lived far from town.
Yeah.
So it's like we need to be stocked up on these things so we don't have to go to town more often, and if we can't get to town or any issue like that. So it was already kind of in my blood at that point. But but for me myself, like my wife and I, we had like 72-hour kits and things like that, but it's not like I had a plan at all.
Yeah.
It was just like, I can live for 72 hours.
That's
I
your
know
plan.
that. We got 2 of them. We can go further.
Yep.
And I didn't have any plan. Nothing around it. Yes, I was prepared and I thought about preparedness, but I was nowhere near.
Yeah.
I couldn't have lasted more than 2 weeks.
Oh, there's no way.
If we had a shut off, lost power grid and all that, I'd be in trouble. I would have been in trouble.
And to think about that, we kind of, at that point, we considered ourselves somewhat preppers, right? And even then.
Yeah, we kind of did.
Like we weren't. We were so ill prepared. Like it's insane.
We were 3-day preppers.
And think about where most people are that aren't preppers. Like even worse than that, right?
Oh my gosh.
You know what I mean?
Tons.
If you think about it. So when we started, I had been prepping in some fashion, really the same as Cam. Like my family, had the basic stuff.
Yeah.
Cam's your family's probably a little more doing that type of stuff, but we hunted and there, things like that. But once I got married, we had a little bit of stuff we got a bunch of stuff like food storage when we got married from family, which is such a weird gift for a wedding gift.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We got a bunch of it.
We did. I remember getting that too.
Yeah, it's just so funny. So we had like some really basic food storage. We didn't really have much water or anything like that before that. A few things I distinctly remember is I didn't carry a knife every day. My dad was trying to get me to do it forever. You know what I mean? Like he'd buy me a knife and I'm like, oh, cool. Thanks, Dad.
Where's that knife I got you?
Yeah, he'd ask me that all the time. We'd be out in the garage and I'd be helping him with something. Give me that knife I gave you. And you're like, oh, shit.
It's like the test.
Yeah. I'm like,
little idiot.
Well, I washed my wife, gosh damn wife, lost it. You know what I mean? You have that but there's something I didn't do.
You don't have it, huh?
Yeah, I didn't
How
have it.
How are you going to cut the rope off your hands when you get tied up?
Exactly. So I had no idea what I was doing. Like when it came to prepping, I really loved the idea. I think it really made sense to me. I was the same as you. We had like the really cheap, basic 72-hour kits in our vehicles, both of our vehicles, right? But I didn't have any like real like EDC kits or bug out bags or anything like that. But the idea made sense, and that was about as far as it went.
Yeah.
Right?
And it was not like the bulk stuff I had was like flour.
Yeah.
It's like only flour and sugar, or I didn't have a variety. It's like, I guess we'll just make bread the whole time we're trying to survive.
Didn't even have any yeast. It's going to be that unleavened bread.
It's just been flour and sugar dry.
Not going to be really great.
So
yeah. So that's kind of where we were, and then like talking about like our mindsets about prepping. You know what I mean? Like what? How did we think about it? Because when we met, right, we kind of both like really quickly figured out that we both had that same either mindset, or we enjoyed talking about that type of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like it was weird because obviously with the video games, that's kind of how it came out.
And I don't know if that's like a common thing with all males, or
I
just
don't
like,
know.
Survival would be greatest.
Yeah.
Or if we just happen to be on the same page.
Yeah.
But yeah, games definitely got me into the survival realm, because it's like, you start out and you're trying to get wood and build a fire and shelter, and I'm like, it's pretty exciting. And
super
and
cool.
so it's like, in real life, could I, how could I do that? And so
so like my mindset when we started, I was so super into politics back then, so I felt like I had a really good grasp on things that were like going on in the world. So they did make you think more about prepping when you're like into that type of stuff, because you're seeing like the conflicts and the crazy crap that can be going on, right? And I loved the thought of survival and prepping. I loved the movies, the books, the games, like all of it, the TV, that stuff. Just I freaking loved it. but there was just mostly an interest. I never really had like thought of myself as a prepper, or like said, I'm going to go out and like get this stuff and like really do it. Right.
No, it was kind of an exciting thing that we were just like, it gives us an opportunity to get together and talk about like fun stuff. And, and I don't know that I particularly was thinking, that I'm going to grow and learn more skills from this. More or less, it was kind of
it'd be fun.
Gives us a scheduled time to get together and BS and talk about survival in a fun way.
Well, and as a lot of you know that we had a podcast before this, and it was about video games, right? Yeah. Horribly unsuccessful.
And probably one of the most saturated things out there.
Not the greatest.
Video games, pro gamers.
And so we were like, we'd got maybe 10 episodes in.
Like we had fun doing it, but we're like,
that was a blast.
What are we getting out of this?
Yeah. And so we're like, we got to find something else that is a little more of a niche that we both love, that we both want to talk about.
Useful.
And it's useful.
The gaming thing was just not.
And it was a little embarrassing.
I didn't feel rewarding.
Right? Yeah. When you tell people, we got a podcast, what's it about? Video games?
It's true.
You know what I mean?
It's true.
I don't know if it's much better now when we say prepping.
I know.
Oh, you're a psycho.
Yeah.
That's usually what people think, right?
You come out of your bunker today?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.